to start to talk to him about like the deeper X's and O's of the game, right? The
Yeah.
pitching sequences now. I even got him and Kyle Snyder hooked up here this offseason. They got to talk a little bit, bringing it back to the Rays. And, Kyle is, in my opinion, the best pitching coach in the big leagues, bar none. I mean, this
Yeah.
guy is he can do it all. He's analytically driven, but he's very good at relating to all these pitchers. That's why they all love him. But everything he does, he backs up with stats and numbers to prove to you that he's correct on what he's telling you. And it just simplifies things to a point where you just know, you're like, well, I got to listen to this guy because he's going to make me better. Well, he talked to Caden for a bit and really helped him out. And it's just a really cool thing, everything coming full circle.
Yeah, so having your boy at Jesuit, your daughter at Admiral Farragut, does she play sports at all?
Yeah, she plays volleyball and softball.
Nice.
Softball's cranking up right now. She just finished up with volleyball. So, yeah, we're just running around everywhere following
That's
these
awesome.
kids.
That's awesome, man. It's a great time of life, and it's so much fun. I'm just going to do it again. It's great. All right, so let's jump into the Rays. Same age group for the Rays as your kids, right? So these guys are young. It's really young. By
They
the
are
way,
young.
Does it piss you off a little bit that your son at 16 is already throwing as hard as you did in your time?
My God, he asked me if I threw his. He was trying to be humble about it, but he's like, "Dad, did you hit this velocity as a sophomore?" And I was like, "Listen, kid. When I was going through high school, there were no radar guns. Like we didn't have all this stuff that you guys have. We didn't have this technology. I rolled out from a rusty gym, just getting off the basketball court, and my first bullpen of the year was at tryouts. Like I didn't ramp up, nothing like that. So I was just trying to hit the catcher. Like
it's
forget
so
about
different.
velocity.
Yeah. Or the guy in the batter's box. As your
yeah, exactly. Yeah. If he deserved it. But yeah, listen, sometimes they do. But you go back to the Rays, JP, man, these guys are young, but we've won with younger, right?
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm okay with going into the year with a young group, not making a ton of moves, or at least not acquiring a ton of big names, not making a lot of moves for free agencies as of yet. There's reason to really believe in these guys. There's talent on the roster already. And I mean, still, if you look at the payroll, they come back right now. I think they're still slated to pay out $90 million or somewhere close to $90 million,
weird.
Which would be a record, right?
So
you're still getting rid of some payroll, but you're still paying a lot of guys. I mean, look, Arozarena is going to be making probably over $8 million. I haven't looked exactly what he's making, but Arozarena is going to be making a good amount. Yandy Diaz is going to be making a good amount, and both those guys deserve it, right? But you're just going to have to lean on some younger guys this year and hope they just come through.
Well, I'm looking at the lineup, and there's a lot of familiar faces that won 99 games last year, right? I mean, you look at Arozarena and left, Syrian center, Josh Lowe, obviously Wonders. I don't think he's going to be playing this year, but you've got some great talent lined up. It's shortstop with Taylor Walls. Maybe you've got some youngsters coming up in Caminero. Paredes, obviously, with the home run bat at third base. Got a lot of options at second. I don't know what you think of what's going to happen at first with Yandy, or they bring in somebody else. Catching might be a little bit of a concern with Pinto. I don't know if they're going to go add somebody, maybe get a veteran there. So just kind of go around the regulars and just kind of give me a scouting of where you think they're at this year.
Yeah, I mean, look, all the regulars, you kind of filled it all out. I think our outfield's in really good shape. You got the guys coming back. I think Jose Siri is going to continue to increase his power numbers. His speed is off the charts. I don't think we saw as much of his speed on display last year as I'd like. I think they're going to try to get him to be a little more aggressive on the bases just because he is so fast. He's so electric on the base pass. So if they can cut out a little bit of that swing and miss, keep the power game in there, and just get him on base, it's going to be really good. Randy's Randy, right? Randy's just going to put up numbers. He's going to be a little erratic at times, but you know what? That's kind of why you love him, and you don't want to take that away from his game. So we know what we're getting out of Randy. Josh Lowe, to me, just repeat what you did, man. Just if you can repeat what you did, that was a stellar year. He was outstanding on the bases. He was our best base runner. You go out there, and I think he only got thrown out twice, maybe, somewhere in there. Stole over 20 bags. But he is really, really good. If he could just repeat it and stay away from, I don't even know if it'd be considered a sophomore slump because he's had some time prior.
Right.
But, stay away from that and just continue to put up consistent numbers, which we all think he can. The outfield's set, man. The outfield looks really good. DeLuca got traded for, too. They're excited about
Johnny DeLuca.
So,
tell me about him. Switch hitter.
Switch hitter.
A little bit of major league time.
Yeah, switch hitter. He can hit lefties better than right-handers, at least up to this point, or at least that's the scouting on him. Gold Glove caliber defender, man. They really love his defense. They think he's an outstanding defender. Really, another guy who's really good on the base pass. So you're looking at a team acquiring talent that they're looking to get more athletic, and that's what they're doing in DeLuca. I think they did a good job. They've liked him for a while, and they saw the opportunity to go out and get him with that trade with the Dodgers. So him and Pepio came back over. They really like both those guys. You go to the infield. I think the infield's, looking pretty strong. Obviously, there's going to be a question mark at shortstop, without Wander Franco in the news and everything coming out. We just don't know what's going to happen there.
Right.
You got Taylor Walls. You just traded for Jose Caballero. They're going to probably mix and match over at shortstop. I would see Isak Paredes utilizing third base. I mean, Isak was just that guy had such a great year, man. And if you're around that dude, like on the flights, I know this is not as important as on the field, but when you're around him, everybody loves this guy. Yeah. He is just one of those guys. He's quiet. He goes about his business, never complains about a thing, wants to play every single day. And he had a breakout year, and I expect him to have as strong a year this year coming in. Brendan Lau over at second base.
I want to talk about Paredes for just a second, because as a pitcher, I look at his spray chart, and it's not even a spray chart. Like, you can't say spray chart. It's just a pull chart. And the dude, everybody knows what he's doing. Everybody knows where he's going, and they can't stop it. It's ridiculous. Like, he's going to pull you out of the yard. And no matter how hard you try to put it outside, he's going to pull you out of the yard. How does he do it?
Yeah, you're like, when you talk to Chad Mottola, the hitting coach, he's like, yeah, I would never teach a kid to hit like Paredes. It's just like,
just leave him alone.
Leave him alone. You just don't teach that. I mean, that's a special skill set that, 99% of major leaguers, forget about baseball players, of major leaguers cannot do what Paredes does and be successful. Now, a lot of them try. A lot of them go up there and they're just pull heavy, try to hit everything out of the yard, and they can't do it. They just fail too often. But Paredes, I think the strength in his swing, the utilization of the lower half and the mechanics of his swing allow him to be pull heavy and do it with success. But you got to have outstanding hands to be able to cover the entire plate and to keep it fair, right? If they're pitching you inside, if they're pitching you away, strong enough to still get it to the left field wall and over. So, Paredes is just a special guy in the box. And if I was pitching against him, it's one of those guys where I think you'd have to try to pound him inside and just get a couple foul balls, hope he does foul it off, and then expand the zone, see if you can strike him out. Because anything over the plate, he's hammering. Whether it's a base hit or not, it is the exit velocity is off the charts. So, yeah, he's a good dude, man. I really love that guy. Love that he's coming back, and he'll be in the lineup every day. So a lot of things to look forward to.
But what do you think of Junior Caminero? Like, what can you expect him? He's the fourth highest prospect in the game right now, according to MLB Pipeline. Obviously, I think the Rays are going to have to get something out of him this year. What do you expect?
Yeah, I'm hopeful for a breakout year, right? He had a breakout year in the minor leagues last year. This is a guy who, when he was traded, wasn't thought of as highly as he is now. Really made a name for himself over the last year and a half. Ever since he got over with the Tampa Bay Rays, really, they found a way to get all that talent out and make it show up on the field. And so, with Junior, I fully anticipate him having a breakout year. I don't know if he's going to make the team out of camp. I would guess probably not, just because they want a little bit more seasoning for him. No one would have guessed he was going to be in the big leagues last year, right? And circumstances opened up a door for him, and he got up there and didn't look overwhelmed by any means. Was okay with everything. He just seems like he's got the it factor. He seems like he's got everything lined up for him to really break out this year, next year. And you just want that to happen on its own time. You don't want to rush that as a team, but you also don't want to hold them back. So I would anticipate, somewhere prior to All-Star break or maybe around All-Star break, they're going to be looking to bring him up and, get him comfortable at the major league level to help push for a playoff potential year. So yeah, that's what I see from him. He does have some decent swing and miss, but he's also a power hitter who can go out there and drop bombs at a young age. Now, a young guy usually coming up is going to swing and miss a lot. I think that Caminero last year showed that he has high contact rate for the type of potential he has. So a lot of excitement coming from the Caminero camp, man, and I'm all on board with that.
What about the pitching staff? Obviously, Shane not coming back this year with the Tommy John, but you got Springs and Rasmussen maybe mid-season. How do you see the starting staff looking right at the beginning and through the year?
Yeah, I've heard good things so far from Springs specifically. You know, he's already gone out there throwing the ball really well, and the rehab is going, accordingly. Rasmussen's one of the hardest working dudes you'll ever meet. So I anticipate, as long as his body can, hold up with his work ethic, he's going to be back out there because he's a bulldog, man. He really is on and off the field. He's great. Shane Baz is a guy that I'm interested to see how he comes into camp. It's going to be hard for him to make the roster out of camp just because he's missed so much time. But, they fully anticipate this guy. And when they got him, they thought he could be good, if not better than Glass now. So, I'm really excited to see if he can come back and make a difference this year. A lot of times you come back from a surgery, it takes a little time. Just because you're on the mound doesn't mean you're 100%, right? You still got to come back, get the feel for all your pitches. But, Shane Baz is special. So it'll be interesting to see if he can crack that roster and crack that rotation, sometime in the first half of the season.
Taj Bradley's another one like that, right? I mean, Taj he's got such great stuff, but, the numbers didn't look great last year. But at times, I mean, he'd go 2 innings, guys wouldn't even touch the ball. I mean, he'd get, just incredible swing and miss stuff. And then he'd just kind of run into a rough patch and they'd score a few runs. But it just seems like that kid, with the stuff that he has, can, when he kind of finally figures it all out, he could be special too. Would you agree?
Yeah, I do, and they think that as well. I mean, the Rays hardly swing and miss on a pitcher. They are outstanding with the way they assess pitching talent and how they get the talent to really maximize it out on the field. And so with Taj Bradley, I think last year you saw what you see out of a lot of young power pitchers is that one big inning that'll really, hold them back. Right. You go out there and all of a sudden you're cruising through 2-3 innings. And then, you walk a guy gets a hit. Now you got a man on first and second. Things start getting really quick on you and start spiraling out of control. And, all of a sudden you're down 3 runs and you didn't know where that happened because you were cruising going into that inning. And that is extremely common for young guys coming up. And Taj is no exception. Look, he got to the big leagues a little bit quicker than I think everybody anticipated. We all knew the kind of arm he has, but, a little bit of seasoning is probably going to help him and did help him last year. I think he's going to learn from that. I like also with Taj specifically, the development of secondary pitches. The power fastball is there, right? And at times he can just throw it by guys. That's always going to be there. But with the development of his secondary pitches, the changeup specifically, if he can get that pitch going, now he has a weapon to both right-handers and left-handers. And then you got the slider as well, or the breaking ball. That's 3 pitches from a power pitcher. If he's in the zone, then he's going to do well. And they're not going to put him at the top of the rotation. He's going to be lined up at the 4 or 5 spot. So they're not going to need him to go out there and cover 7-8 innings, right? They want him to go out there, get you 5, get you maybe 6 innings or into the 6th, hand the ball over to a bullpen that can really do some damage. So I like where Taj is. It'll be interesting to see how he is in spring, but I'm hoping he can come back and have a really good solid year.
Here's the name that I'm going to try to pronounce. Naoki Uwasawa, the 29-year-old they got from Japan. His numbers look tantalizingly good in Japan, and putting him in a Rays system, this makes me think they're going to get something good out of this guy. Do you think he makes the rotation? He's 29 years old. His numbers really, really good in Japan. I don't know. I think he's a wild card, but I think for some reason, just in the Rays system, he could be really good.
I think there's a shot for him. Look, they're not going to go out and sign a guy like that if they don't want to give him a chance in spring. And he had other options to go sign at in other camps and with other teams, and he wanted to go with the Rays because he knew, the reputation of Snyder and the reputation of the Rays getting these guys to just bring it to another level. So he chose the Rays over a couple other teams. I think it's a good fit. I think his spot, if he makes the team out of camp, would be a 4 or 5 guy in that rotation or the long guy in the bullpen, depending on how many pitchers they need the first couple of weeks in the season. I think he's very interesting with what he can bring to the table. I do see Snyder going and working with him and maybe maximizing the usage of like his top 2 or 3 pitches instead of going out there. He's a guy who can throw, he's one of those guys who has like 18 pitches, can throw them all for strikes, and you haven't even heard the words, like the names of half of them. You're like, what does that pitch do? He's one of those guys, but he is outstanding command. So if you can get swing and miss with outstanding command, well, then Snyder's going to show you how to use it. And I do think when I started reading up on him, because I haven't seen what he's done, but he had some outstanding numbers over in Japan, which a lot of times pitchers translate a little bit easier than hitters when you're plucking from another league, just because you can see analytically what their stuff does.
Right.
When you got to break down a swing, it's a little bit different, a little bit more difficult, at least in my opinion, to see how it would translate to the major league level. But I do think that what they see from him, I think that it does translate pretty well. And I think there's a spot for him if he comes out and shows up really well in spring training.
All right, last one for you. And this is a long shot guy, but he's just intriguing to me. And I love the whole package. His name is Xavier Isaac. He's our first round pick from a couple of years ago, 6'3". He's down to 240 now. I think he started about 280. They got him down to 240 playing first base now. But the power numbers in his first year in single A, 19 home runs and 361 at-bats, 72 RBIs, 916 OPS. The guy can absolutely smoke it. Any chance he gets any major league time this year? Any chance?
I would say no, not this year. But funny thing about Xavier Isaac, as soon as he signed, I was able to do a little spotlight thing for Bally on our draft picks, and it was his draft, right? And so I go down to Port Charlotte, and I'm, reading up on all these guys. So I got stuff to ask them in an interview, and I'm assuming that I'm going to get on there. I'm going to try to, put them at ease, get them very comfortable, because these guys are coming straight out of high school, college. They've never been around a camera, never been in the facilities, So I was trying to go in there, make sure that they felt comfortable. And dude, I get by Isaac on first base, right? And first of all, I'm looking up to this dude by like 3 or 4 inches. I don't look up to guys that often because I'm a pretty tall guy. And this guy is a monster, right? Just a huge individual. And young kid, you could tell he was young, but you could also tell he's super confident in what he can do. And I just asking a couple questions, and he was a guy who was going to Florida, and I was just asking him about when he got drafted and what he anticipates for the first season, expectations going in. And he was just telling me, he's like, it was like it was no big deal. He's like, yeah, I know, I expect to be one of the best first basemen in the league. I mean, I can turn on a fastball pretty quick. My hands are extremely strong. All this stuff. He's just telling me how, and he was telling me in an extremely confident way that, when you hear it, you're like, wow, man, this is really good to hear from a young kid, because you want him to be confident, because there's going to be ups and downs, man. We just talked about it. But especially with a power hitter, if you're confident and you're not worried about striking out a little bit, you can go out there and just mash. And that's what he did his first year. I really like the mindset on the kid. Physically, he's a monster. I don't think just out of age that he's going to make it this year, but he's absolutely on the radar, man. He's one of the top prospects for the Rays.
Well, dude, thanks so much for spending some time with us here this morning. I'm solo, so you bailed me out right at the top of the show. You're the best. You're looking great. Congrats to the kids. Real happy for you and all your success, all your Emmys, all your everything. You're a stud, man, and everybody loves you. Everybody. And happy birthday, by the way. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, my wife had to remind me I'm 43. I told her, I was like, hey, I can't believe I'm turning 42 this year.
43.
She's like, no, Doug, you're turning 43. I was like, dang, really?
You only took a year off? I take 10 years off every year.
Oh, yeah.
I take 10 off.
There.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's getting there.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm just glad that I was able to get this damn app to work, and StreamYard actually worked, and it was able to show up for me.
We're both astounded. We're both
astounded.
No, I knew you could handle it, my friend. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Have a great day.
Yeah, you got it, brother.
All right. The great Doug Waechter right there. I'm, you guys know, you watch the show. I've been down on the Rays, but when you start talking ball, you start talking about these young kids, and you start talking about the team, I get excited. I get excited about the team. I'm excited to see what these young kids can do. Will they contend in this division that is just loaded up again? Who knows? I think the pitching is, if they can find, and they usually do, they usually are able to find some pitching. I'm still worried about the offense, even though, it's an offense that last year at times was really good. When it faces good pitching postseason, it just seems to sputter out. You got to have those special guys that can meet the moment. Regular season, I think this team will be fine. I think it'll be fine. Will they go out and make some moves at the deadline? Probably not. Probably not. But if they do, they go get a couple, for the first time ever, go get a couple proven hitters, and Springs comes back and Rasmussen comes back. You never know what can happen. I think it's a team that's going to contend, and it's going to be plucky, as they always are, young, aggressive kids. And I'm excited to see what Caminero can do. Paredes in a second year. Jose Siri has, I think, still a lot of untapped potential as he continues to grow up and mature as a baseball player. I think Arozarena he's a stud. He's a stud, and I think there's more in Josh Lowe. So we'll see. It's going to be a fun day. I think they're going to make a move at catcher. They got to find, besides Renee Pinto, I think he's the only one on the 40-man roster right now. So they're probably going to have to make some moves there. But all in all, it should be a fun season. I would love to see Xavier Isaac get up, but coming from single A, that's probably not going to happen. I wonder if he's going to get some at-bats in spring training. It'll be fun to see. He's one of those exciting guys. Boy, wouldn't it be great if the Rays nailed this first baseman, and, you have a guy, a Ryan Howard or something that you have for 15 years. You can put him in the middle of the lineup, and he's going to hit you 30 bombs a year. Wouldn't that just be freaking awesome? No, they've never really had that, right? Except you go, go back to 2008. That was a team that had a few more veterans on it sprinkled in there. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what's up. And as far as the stadium goes, I think they're doing another vote in April. I'm still hearing the sale of the team is a very real thing. You just saw the Baltimore Orioles go for $1.7 billion. So, what are the Rays worth? I think they're, probably around 1.5, 1.6. Stu thinks they're worth 2.5. So it's probably going to be hard because that's what he does. So that's probably where the sticking point is. But now that the Orioles have kind of set the market, maybe something pops. I'm still not convinced that stadium will ever get built in St. Petersburg until they do the vote and do everything. And you've seen a lot of the rhetoric coming out of the council folks. And as I predicted, once you get down to brass tacks and you start looking at the real dollars that you're going to have to put in and what you're getting out of it, I think the council men and women are going to have to look real hard at building a $1.2 billion stadium, something that's going to cost the taxpayers, even with the Rays, what they're going to put in, almost $2 billion after, interest and everything else, in a location that is completely and unequivocally proven as failed. You got to think, why would you vote for that? Why would you vote for that? And I think the realization of a lot of the things that, these council folks are going to have to deal with is starting to sink in. And I also think that the teams that want to buy this franchise, or the owners that want to buy these franchise, prospective owners, I know for a fact they don't want to build in St. Pete. Why would they? And again, nothing against St. Pete. St. Pete is an unbelievable city. They don't need the Rays. They'd be much better off building a convention center or maybe a cruise port, not a Tropicana field, obviously, but using that money to do something that would really bring more visitors in, heads and beds that would consistently all year round bring people in and make the economy stronger would be a much better use of public funds than a baseball stadium, in my opinion. Again, it's because baseball is a different deal. It's 81 home games. It's a lot. And people, have to, in the middle of the week, have to be able to get there and get back in a timely fashion. And it's just not, it's proven. We've been doing this for 25 plus years, right? It doesn't work, that location. Playoffs proved it even more. Lonnie Wilkins says the Royal Rumble proved that downtown infrastructure can't handle 30 to 40K. 100% right, Lonnie. 100% right. Getting in and out of that downtown area with 30 to 40,000 people is an effing nightmare. So if you're projecting, I think the stadium would hold around 30. If you're projecting 30,000 people going in and out of there on a nightly basis, that's even worse than Tropicana Field, because right now they get 19, 20. It's tough to get them in and out. And that's why people don't want to go. So consistently, you're never going to get those type of crowds in downtown St. Pete because of the demographics. And clearly, without question, it's very doable in downtown Tampa. The Lightning do it all the time, right? I know that's 20,000, but the Lightning do it all the time. And getting in and out of there is much easier than, and please don't share your anecdotal stories about one time. It's unequivocal. There's way more roads that come into downtown Tampa. There are way more people that live around there that would actually go to the games, which makes a difference because they're not parking. They're taking, public transportation. They're taking the trolleys. They're taking, Ubers. They're doing all different types of rideshare stuff. So, and that's, where a new baseball stadium would be. There's going to be a major rail station coming in, Brightline, to downtown Tampa. There's going to be some mass transit, obviously, coming into downtown Tampa, maybe near the water. So there's another opportunity with water taxis. Everything points to downtown Tampa. It still does. So I still don't think it's going to be built in St. Petersburg, but we shall see. Right now, you've got a baseball team to worry about that's going to be there for the next few years. And yes, would I have liked to seen them go out and pick up Cody Bellinger? Yeah. I'm tired of them playing second fiddle in all these free agencies when I know damn well they have the money to do it. They have more than enough money to go out and sign these guys, but they just refuse to do it. And I think it's sad for the fans. And yeah, all these young kids are nice. It's fun. I'm excited to see what they can do, but I would love to sprinkle in a few veterans that I know come postseason can get the job done. And that's what this team is going to need to win a World Series. And until they do that, I don't think they ever will. And I don't think they'll ever do it under this ownership group, quite frankly. If you guys got any questions, please dump them in here. Comments, you can go to YouTube. You can go to @FanstreamJP on Twitter. You can do it on my Facebook as well, @JP Peterson. On Peter Blake's Facebook, you can jump in as well. Put those comments in there, and we will get to them today because I'm going solo, and I'd love to hear from you and see what you got. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Jane Geddes is going to join me in the second hour, former U.S. Open champion, and, of course, real estate agent to the stars, and you as well. So she'll talk with us about the new deal for the PGA Tour, what the hell that means. I'm still trying to figure that out. The Live Golf and the PGA Tour, the LPGA Tour is stronger than ever, by the way. I think we're going to get into the transgender golfer that's making a run at the LPGA Tour. Jane definitely has some opinions on that, so that'll be interesting as well. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Bucs OC situation and some other NFL things going on. Cam Newton had some things to say about Brock Purdy that I have to definitely address as well. So lots more coming your way. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Go to the website and get your free case evaluation. You'll come into the office, tell them what's up. Maybe you didn't get a great settlement on your totaled car. That's something that they do really well in your wheelhouse. You've had an accident. You've had an issue at work. You've got something with a construction company, or you've got something with an insurance company. They can help you with all that stuff. So come on in, get a free case evaluation, or call them up and do it on the phone. JEEVES lawgroup.com. They're local. They know the local landscape here legally. That certainly helps in your case. So make that call. JEEVES lawgroup.com. Back in 3 minutes. Stay with us. JP here for my friends at your local Synovus Bank, and I do mean friends, and I do mean local. One of the local managers in Tampa is John Acosta, big fan of the show, and I've known him for over 40 years. He's been in local banking since 1983. You talk about developing relationships. You don't stick around for that long unless you're doing things the right way and have a great reputation, and that's the focus company-wide at Synovus. Big enough to handle any complex international transaction, but small enough to answer the phone when you have an urgent question about your business or personal account. And for personal accounts, they have a very easy app that works great. You can do everything online. And for large or small businesses, you will get that personal touch and services to help build your business, taking your dreams and aspirations from the whiteboard to reality. We can make that happen. Let us show you how. For a Get Acquainted meeting to open a business or personal account, just call John or go to synovus.com to find out where your local branch is.
All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com.
JP here for the Geddes Gordon Real Estate Group and our good friend Jane Geddes. Folks, simply put, there is nobody like Jane. Jane is a former LPGA two-time major championship winner. She was also vice president of talent relations at WWE. She also has a law degree from Stetson, so if Jane can drain a 10-footer to win the U.S. Open and stare down Hulk Hogan in the boardroom, you want Jane on your real estate team to not only negotiate the best deal, but find you the perfect home or investment property. And when you work with the Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of the real estate family and get concierge services that include expertly staging, marketing, and preparing your home for sale. Advice on golf properties. Hey, you might even get some golf tips. Many of their clients become friends long after the sale or purchase is completed. It's all part of the deal. So if you're looking for that perfect home or investment property or trying to get top dollar for your home, go with Jane Geddes and the Geddes Gordon Group because there's nobody like Jane. Call 813-485-6808 or go to geddesgordon.kw.com. That's GEDDES Gordon.kw.com or call 813-485-6808.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson show here. Going solo today, no big deal. Timmy Ham is a little bit under the weather, as we all are. But I'm in here, got a little sinus thing working, but no days off. No days off for you people. We're always bringing it to you. So if you want to jump into comments, anything you want to talk about today, we will address it. Hit us up in the comments. I see you, Bucs Basement in there. We'll get to you in just a second. Bay Area Modern Medical Center is the place that I go as I sniffle, right? These things are going to happen. You're going to get sick every now and then. My body fights it off most of the time, but I'm about to sneeze like really long. But Bay Area Modern Medical Center will call them up. Hey, here's what's going on with me. Sends me in a script if I need it. Good to go. Chris Lugo, absolutely fantastic. He'll join us on Monday as well to help you through all this stuff that's going on because I can still go to work. I'm still ready to go. Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. All right. To the comments we go before I get to Bucs OC. JP, can you ask Jane about the current McMahon lawsuit and allegations? I'd love to hear her perspective from being at WWE. I will ask her if she would like to comment on that, her former employer. We've talked about Vince before on the air, and that's crazy stuff. I was reading up a little bit on that the other day. None of it shocked me, to be honest with you. None of it. Did it shock you? No. I just imagine that there's a lot of stuff like that going on at, because it's entertainment, right? And I'm not shrugging it off at all. But it's entertainment. These are things I think that happen in the entertainment world. People with a lot of money, a lot of power. Not saying it's right by any stretch of the imagination. What Vince did was awful, disgusting in my mind, and it allegedly did. But it doesn't shock me. That's what I'm saying. I think that's probably the subculture of a lot of those type of things in entertainment, in Hollywood. Television, all that stuff. I've been in television for a while at a very local level, obviously, but work with big networks. And there's a lot of ego. There's a lot of power. There's a lot of money. And with all that stuff comes the sex, drugs, and the rock and roll. And none of us are shocked by it. And, there'll be some legal remedies here. And I think when you get in that business, you should go into it with your eyes wide open and know exactly what's going on. Again, I'm not excusing it. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying none of that shocks me. Does it shock you guys? No, doesn't shock me at all. Bucs basement addition by subtraction. The last 2 days, we lose the worst run coordinator in the NFL, a bad O-line coach, and Keith Armstrong. Bucs got stronger just by getting rid of some awful coaches. That's harsh. That's harsh. I ain't saying it's wrong. We've talked about this for a long time. If all this coaches to survive the purge last year, an offensive line coach and a run game coordinator that were analytically the worst in the game at running the football. If you're the Panthers, like if you're a Panthers fan today, you're like, oh, we got the worst running game coordinator in the league and his O-line coach. And this is, I don't want to have any disrespect towards Joe Gilbert or Harold Godwin. They also won a Super Bowl. Okay? They won a Super Bowl. But that was in a different offense with a different leader as a coach, different offense coordinator, etc. That stuff matters with different players, by the way. So that stuff matters as well. But 2 years in a row, they haven't been able to get it right. And this is a bottom line business. They're phenomenal people, great guys. Hell, I love listening to Joe at practice. He's hilarious. He is as the most offensive line coaches are, a swearing machine. It's funny to watch. It really is. All offensive line coaches are. But, look at the results. It was bad. It was really, really bad. I'm excited about what they could bring in. Could Ryan Jensen switch over to being an offensive line coach? AQ Shipley is someone that's been very close to the program through Bruce Arians. Would he be interested in coaching some offensive line? Both those guys, great personalities, very, played in the game at a high level. Yeah, I would love to see those guys as an offensive line coach, and I think we would be much improved. I don't think you could argue that at all. I'd rather see Ryan Jensen playing, to be honest with you, which I don't know. We haven't talked to Ryan lately, but the last time I talked to him personally, he said he wasn't giving up, and he was around the team all year long. 33 years old is not super old for a center. What did Jason Kelce play till he was 37, 38? So, I mean, if he can get that knee right, and all the ligaments are repaired, right now he has a cartilage issue that they've been trying to work through. So I don't know where that is. But I know that he hasn't retired and he wants to play. So, we'll see. But yeah, I think they can do better in the offensive line situation. I think they can do better in the run game coordinator. Clearly. I mean, last is not good, guys. And as far as the offensive coordinator position, still open. Jake Peets, Rams passing game coordinator, is going to interview today, I believe. And Liam Cohen, 38-year-old, who was the current offensive coordinator at Kentucky. He's been bouncing around. He was at Kentucky in 21, went to the Rams as their offensive coordinator in 22, where he worked with Baker Mayfield for 5 games. So there's a familiarity there. And then went back to Kentucky. So Liam Cohen, 38, is going to interview today. Most everybody who has interviewed has a connection to Baker Mayfield, which, obviously bodes well that Baker is planning on coming back and the Bucs are planning on bringing him back. So it's great that, because he is technically a free agent, right? As of March something, I think it's official, but he can go, search for other offers. But that his team obviously is listening to other teams. Who are those teams? I think there's a lot of chatter right now. I was watching Get Up this morning on ESPN about Justin Fields to Atlanta. And if you're Justin Fields, clearly that the Bears are going to trade him. They're going for Caleb Williams. All signals point to that. So they're going to trade Justin Fields. Where does he go? Does he go to Pittsburgh? Does he go to Atlanta? If you're Justin Fields, where would you want to go? Back home to the NFC South? Or would you rather go to that division, the black and blue division in Pittsburgh? No. I think you would much rather go to the NFC South, and Atlanta would be a great landing spot for him. And as we talked about on the show yesterday, start putting that game together. Justin Fields and his running ability with Bijan Robinson and Drake London and Kyle Pitts. And that group, that defense, top 10 defense. Now you got Raheem Morris coming in with Zach Robinson is the OC, so you got the Rams offense you're going to have to do, which, by the way, Todd Bowles has not quite figured out still. So, Atlanta becomes very much a challenge with Justin Fields at quarterback. Again, said this last year. They're a quarterback away from being a pretty damn good football team, and that obviously still remains true. So Justin Fields to Atlanta scares the hell out of me because watching Justin at the end of the year, and I've always thought that he's better than the Bears were making him out to be. The Bears offense, especially their staff, they're just a disaster. So I think there's upside there. And if I'm a Bucs fan, the thing I want to hear more than anything in this offseason regarding Justin Fields is he's going to Pittsburgh or somewhere else than Atlanta. Now, what does Atlanta have to give up to get him? Those are important resources. So most people say it's a 2 and a 3, maybe 2 2s, but it's not, 3 first-round picks. But look, the leverage changes that. If Pittsburgh decides that's our guy and Atlanta decides that's our guy, who would you rather take, Justin Fields or who's left in the draft at number 8? Michael Penix? I love Michael Penix, but I'm probably going to go with Justin Fields, especially in Atlanta's case and Pittsburgh's case, where you've got a team that can win right now. I mean, the Steelers went 10-7 with, Kenny Pickett and Mitch Trubisky and everybody, Cliff Stout at quarterback. There's an old reference for you. Excuse me, Terry Bradshaw backup. Yeah, it's not great. It's not great. So Atlanta, Justin Fields, that scares me. So anyway, the Bucs OC still not hired yet. Thad Lewis, I believe, interviewed yesterday officially. They know who he is. He's been on the staff for 4 years, so they know who he is. He's still my top choice. I still, and talking to Greg Auman yesterday from Fox Sports, he did a piece on Thad. He's got great pedigree. He's been in 8 different systems in the NFL as a backup quarterback, and learned from some of the best in this league. Also under Bruce Arians, has, learned the Dave Canales system. I would think would obviously continue with that system. So Baker Mayfield doesn't have to learn a new system, and Mike Evans doesn't have to learn a new system. And by the way, I did see the pictures of Mike Evans at a Rockets game in Houston. All the Texans fans going crazy. Oh, Mike, come play, bro. He ain't going anywhere. At least I don't think so. Why would you want to uproot your family from here, man? You got your big event coming up in May. Everybody loves you because they won't freaking pay me. Huh? That's a good reason. I get it. But it ain't all about money, as you well know. So I think they're going to find a way to figure this out, especially with the season that he had last year. There's no way. And I've heard him say that he wants a 5-year deal. I hope that's not like, guaranteed $25 million for 5 years, because that would be a little bit much. I don't want to pay Mike Evans at 36 years old $25 million. That's too much. And he had a great year, and I would pay him for another 3 years. I think he can be super productive over the next 3 years. Past that, you got to protect yourself. JK, we couldn't find. Lonnie says we couldn't find sinus med at all CVS in the area. Everyone is down. I know. I don't know what the hell this is that everybody's got, but it is. Normally I kick this in 48 hours, and it's been more than that. All right, I got some other great questions about Keon Coleman and some other things I want to get to. I got some thoughts on Keon Coleman that may surprise you a little bit, so I want to get to that. So if you got any questions, line them up in the comments. You can do that on YouTube, The JP Peterson Show. You can do it on my Facebook at JP Peterson. You can do it on at FanstreamJP on Twitter. Lots of different places you could comment. Sorry, we can't take calls today. Would love to be doing that. But we could do it in the comments. So let's get her done. I'll answer every single one today, whatever questions you have, even about sinus medicine. Quick break. We'll be back in 3 minutes, and Jane Geddes is going to join us in our second hour. Stay with us.
JP here for the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves. Call for a free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. We're local, we're trusted, The law firm brings over 80 years of combined legal experience focusing on clients in Tampa Bay, the state of Florida, and national class action cases. If you're injured, get that free case evaluation, no cost to you. The Jeeves Law Group's focus is on auto, truck, and motorcycle accidents, as well as class action and consumer protection law. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. You hear him on the show all the time. Great guy, big Gator fan, and great for the community. The Jeeves Law Group is a highly skilled team with years of experience that will apply their skills, expertise, and knowledge to assist individuals who have been in an accident with compensation for damages, lost wages, medical expenses, pain and suffering, and property damage. Get that free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES.
JP here for my good friends at Italiano Insurance, and they did it again. Once again, Italiano Insurance stepping up with the best customer service. I was in a bind. My old insurance company, my auto insurance, jacked up my rates, so I called Charity at Italiano Insurance, and she stayed till 9:30 at night until she got my insurance done. And guess what? She searched all these companies for me. I didn't do the work. She did. Saved me $1,000 on my annual premium. $1,000, folks. That's real money. And that's what you get at Italiano Insurance. Great customer service. And here's another note for you, by the way, with hurricane season up. 40% of people in Florida are underinsured. That means if you have something happen during a hurricane and you need replacement costs, you're going to get 40% less than you deserve. Can't let that happen. Call the folks at Italiano Insurance and get them to help you out in both those regards. They will save you money and keep you insured properly. That's 813-877-7799. Great folks in the community, been doing it for over 60 years. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
Start the new year with a new diamond from the Gold and Diamond Source. It's still engagement season. Where better to get that special ring than the Gold and Diamond Source? Of course, I just got mine there. I'm engaged. You should do the same thing. Let's go. Gold and Diamond Source has the largest selection of engagement rings in the country. A literal jewelry superstore with 30 times the inventory of any normal jeweler. And if you have a loved one or a special person in your life who has a birthday this month, maybe you have an anniversary coming up, you can get 15% off the January birthstone, which is garnet, as in garnet and gold for all your Seminoles. Celebrate that mythical national championship. And it's the Gold and Diamond Source's 40th anniversary. For the past 40 years, they have taken pride in offering only natural diamonds formed over billions of years from the Earth's incredible forces. And gold prices are at an all-time high. Now's your chance to turn your jewelry box into a cash machine. It's the perfect time to trade in your broken or unworn pieces for something new and stunning. It's the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Ulmerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back, kids, to the JP Peterson Show here as we roll on. And just a quick note on the Gold and Diamond Source. If you're getting engaged or looking for that perfect Valentine's Day gift, go to the Gold and Diamond Source, the largest selection of engagement rings. Where's my box? Oh, here it is. Product placement, folks, right there. There's the Gold and Diamond Source for the lovely Ashley. Only natural diamonds, by the way. It takes billions of years to form natural diamonds. You don't want something that was made in a factory a couple weeks ago. Their diamonds never lose their value. You can always trade up on your Gold and Diamond Source diamond ring for a better one. 3 to 5 year interest-free financing. And this coming up, Valentine's double gift card match this Thursday and Friday. So that's today. Buy up to $1,000 gift card, and they'll match it, giving you up to $2,000 in immediate spending power. That's today and tomorrow. The Valentine's Day sale is on. Make sure it's a Gold and Diamond Source. So $1,000 gift card gets you $2,000 in immediate spending power. That is a no-brainer, folks. Get on over to the Gold and Diamond Source. And, of course, Julie and Steve Weintraub, our great friends, great philanthropists in the area. We love them. Always keep it local, and go shop at the Gold and Diamond Source for Valentine's Day. Get it done, guys, right now. Double your money. Why would you not do that? Let's go. All right. Interesting note here from Christopher Cole. So, did the Bucs have anyone at the Senior Bowl? I'm sure they do, but they don't have an offensive coordinator there. Is Thad Lewis there? No, I think he's interviewing. So all the Pewter Report guys are there. They're going to report back. By the way, they're doing some great stuff there. Pewter Report with their podcasts and articles on Senior Bowl. So get on up there and or go there and check out what's going on. All right, other questions. T. Knowles says, hello to you, T. Knowles. Keon Coleman at 26. If lucky enough, what position are you drafting at 26, JP? I'm going – you just don't know, right? I don't know who's off the board, so it would be stupid to even say that. I can tell you what my priorities are. Edge rusher is number one priority. Is wide receiver? No, not right now. Not right now. I think there are bigger, more pressing needs. Now, if somebody is there at 26 that I think is really, really good, that's a game changer. If somebody falls to 26, it's a game changer. If Michael Penix falls to 26, and there are some people that are projecting him in the second round, you still need a long-term answer at quarterback, right? You still need a long-term answer. I was reading Bucky Brooks, who I respect tremendously in terms of his draft acumen. He was a guy last year that was really, really high on C.J. Stroud. He had coached him in some elite camps, had really gotten to know him, checked out the tape and the film, and absolutely loved C.J. Stroud. And look what that turned into. He sees a lot of C.J. Stroud in Michael Penix, a lot. He loves Michael Penix, loves the anticipation, loves the accuracy, loves the downfield ball, loves the acumen, loves the anticipation, loves getting to the third read, loves Michael Penix. Says he sees a ton of Keon Coleman in him. That being the case, I mean, not Keon Coleman, a ton of C.J. Stroud. So that being the case, I think the Bucs have to do their due diligence on Michael Penix, and not because he's a local guy, but that's a great part of the story, right? That should have nothing to do with your evaluation of players. Zero. Okay, zero. But look at what he's done at Washington. Look at what he did at Indiana in terms of his athleticism, how he's developed. He's going to be 24. So if he's going to sit for a couple years behind Baker Mayfield, I don't have a problem with that. It's Aaron Rodgers' path. That's fine with me. Fine with me. And you have a bridge. And if Baker were to get hurt, and let's be honest, Baker plays a very reckless style of quarterback, you'll have somebody that you can go to and grow with. So I don't think it's crazy. It's the most important position in football. And we don't need to drive that home. You're a smart group here. You know this. So if Michael Penix is there at 26, you have to do your due diligence, and I think he will be, and be ready and willing to take him if that's what you think. If the Bucs evaluate him and don't see it, they've got a lot of other needs. I would go center there. If you can find I don't know if there's a center that good in the draft, but I wouldn't, I think that's a very important position in today's NFL. And the Bucs are in desperate need of a quality center. I would look at edge rusher. I would look at wide receiver, because I don't think Chris Godwin is going to be here after next year. So I don't think that's a crazy thing. And Keon Coleman is an interesting cat. Obviously, he was dominant for the Seminoles in the first half of the season, first 7-8 games. Then he got dinged up and wasn't the same guy. I have some guys up there in Tallahassee that go to practice and talk about guys, and they like Keon, but they say he's soft. I'm just telling you what I hear. So I would, at first I was like, I'm all about Keon Coleman. He was freaking balling. He was absolutely dominant, but he definitely slacked off in the second part of the year. And I don't know if it's because his agent was like, hey man, don't get hurt. You're a shoo-in for the first round, take it down a notch, whatever. I don't know. I have no idea, but he just didn't have the numbers that he had early on. He wasn't nearly as dominant as he was early on. So I think you got to do your due diligence on Keon Coleman. That's just what I'm hearing from some people that I respect a lot up there. So take that for what it's worth. What else? Lonnie Wilkins says, nope, any of the fan of WWE, especially in the 90s and 2000s, is by no means surprised at what's going on there. Yeah. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Does Baker have any input on OC coach, and what if they don't pick the OC that he suggests? You have any contact in Atlanta to see if they are interested in Baker or have talked to his agent? I'm working on that. I think, look, I know how the NFL works, and they're all going to play the leverage game. They're all going to play the leverage game. They're going to tell Justin Fields' agent that they're looking at Baker. They're going to tell Baker's agent that they're looking at Justin Fields. So yeah, they're going to try to play the leverage game. Like, yeah, you want a first round pick? Chicago, well, look, we're not giving you one. We got Baker Mayfield here. We can go to him. So, you know, they're all going to play the leverage game. Is Atlanta interested in Baker Mayfield? They'd be stupid not to. They'd be stupid not to. Zach Robinson's their OC there. Raheem there. I'm telling you right now, they love Baker. They love Baker. They had Baker for 5 weeks. He did a great job there. Everybody loves Baker. So, yeah, I think they're very interested in him. And taking him away from a division rival, absolutely, 100%. I think that if they're in their hierarchy, they probably have Baker, Justin Fields in some hierarchy there that they're going to go to. So, yeah, I think it's a definite. If you're Atlanta, why would you not do that? Why would you want to sit there and watch Baker beat you for another few years while you're, dicking around with Desmond Ridder or some other, or you're going to draft the quarterback and develop them? Who are you going to get? I think they're picking an 8 or 9. The good one, Jaden Daniels ain't going to be there. Drake May's not going to be there. Caleb Williams not going to be there. So are you going with Michael Penix? I don't know. So it'll be interesting to see, but I think Baker's no question that Baker's in play in Atlanta. They'd be dumb not to. Do you believe if the OC candidates are being told to run Canales' offense from last year? If not, doesn't that mean Baker might not come back? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think you can tell an OC candidate to run a certain offense. I don't think you can do that. And if you're going to hire the guy, you got to let him come in and be his, run his system and be his guy. Trying to have a guy run somebody else's system, I don't know. I don't know if that works. I think the continuity card is Thad Lewis. Some of these guys already have play calling experience. Most of them do not. So I think you're kind of, once again, you're not getting the cream of crop candidates here. Those guys are already gone to others. Although Alex Van Pelt has a lot of seasoning in this league and has called plays before. So, again, I don't have a great feel for who they're going to hire here. My feeling is continuity is king. I do know that about the NFL. And with the lack of, some opportunity coming open that we don't see coming, a really experienced guy that's done it in this league, the guys that they've interviewed so far, I would take Thad Lewis. I would take Thad Lewis and continue the continuity and ensure Baker comes back. And Baker's input is huge here. And of course the Bucs are getting Baker's input. They'd be stupid not to. They're not a dumb organization. Every one of these guys that comes in has a tie to Baker Mayfield. So, yeah, I mean, I think we can read between the leaves here, the tea leaves here, read between the lines. Yeah. Yeah, of course, if you're not doing that, you're dumb. And so I think in the end, to me, if I'm Jason Light, my first choice is Thad Lewis, continuity, Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, go get it, a couple of good guys in the run game, and let's go. Let's go. I think all signs right there point to perfecting the offense and getting better. Greg DeCruz, good morning to you in Costa Rica. It seems that Bowles is distancing himself from the Arians coaching staff on offense. I fear that he wants to win games 17-13. Not sure if that will work in today's NFL. It's a great point. It's a great point, Greg. I'm not a huge fan of that. I think, I have my issues with the way Todd manages the game. You guys know that. I don't think you can win in this league like that. I think you have to have some balance. But I do think Canales was probably shackled to running the ball more than he wanted to. And I think those reins kind of loosened at the end of the season. And I think that's why they won more games, quite frankly. You just can't run the ball up the middle with that zone blocking scheme, with that line, 10 to 15 times a game. It's a waste of a down. It's a waste of a down. The numbers show that. The tape shows that. And I can't believe that Canales, as an offensive coordinator, really wanted to do that himself. Doesn't make sense to me. All right, we'll take another quick break here. I'm going to get to all of your comments. I got to blow my nose and cough, so I have to do a few more breaks. Jane Geddes is ready to go, so we're going to talk to her about all those things, golf. Maybe we'll mix in a couple WWEs. We'll see. She's very, very candid. We'll talk a little real estate as well, so stay with us. Quick break here. Jane Geddes coming up next.
JP here for the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves. Call for a free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. We're local, we're trusted. The law firm brings over 80 years of combined legal experience focusing on clients in Tampa Bay, the state of Florida, and national class action cases. If you're injured, get that free case evaluation, no cost to you. The Jeeves Law Group's focus is on auto, truck, and motorcycle accidents, as well as class action and consumer protection law. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. You hear him on the show all the time. Great guy, big Gator fan, and great for the community. The Jeeves Law Group is a highly skilled team with years of experience that will apply their skills, expertise, and knowledge to assist individuals who have been in an accident with compensation for damages, lost wages, medical expenses, pain and suffering, and property damage. Get that free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES.
JP here for the Geddes Gordon Real Estate Group and our good friend Jane Geddes. Folks, simply put, there is nobody like Jane. Jane is a former LPGA two-time major championship winner. She was also vice president of talent relations at WWE. She also has a law degree from Stetson. So if Jane can drain a 10-footer to win the U.S. Open and stare down Hulk Hogan in the boardroom, you want Jane on your real estate team to not only negotiate the best deal, but find you the perfect home or investment property. And when you work with the Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of the real estate family and get concierge services that include expertly staging, marketing, and preparing your home for sale. Advice on golf properties. Hey, you might even get some golf tips. Many of their clients become friends long after the sale or purchase is completed. It's all part of the deal. So if you're looking for that perfect home or investment property or try to get top dollar for your home, go with Jane Geddes and the Geddes Gordon Group because there's nobody like Jane. Call 813-485-6808 or go to geddesgordon.kw.com. That's GEDDES Gordon.kw.com or call 813-485-6808. JP here for my good friends at Italiano Insurance, and they did it again. Once again, Italiano Insurance stepping up with the best customer service. I was in a bind. My old insurance company, my auto insurance, jacked up my rates, so I called Charity at Italiano Insurance, and she stayed till 9:30 at night until she got my insurance done. And guess what? She searched all these companies for me. I didn't do the work. She did. Saved me $1,000 on my annual premium. $1,000, folks. That's real money. And that's what you get at Italiano Insurance. Great customer service. And here's another note for you, by the way, with hurricane season up. 40% of people in Florida are underinsured. That means if you have something happen during a hurricane and you need replacement costs, you're going to get 40% less than you deserve. Can't let that happen. Call the folks at Italiano Insurance and get them to help you out in both those regards. They will save you money and keep you insured properly. That's 813-877-7799. Great folks in the community, been doing it for over 60 years. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show here as we're rolling solo here today. I want to remind you folks about Italiano Insurance. Great time to do your insurance checkup as we do each and every year. Call them up, tell them what you do, what you got for auto insurance, what you got for home insurance, what you got for business insurance. They will shop them all for you and see if they can come back with some different companies and lower rates. Make sure that you're properly insured as well, because 40 to 50% of you are underinsured in terms of your homeowner's insurance because prices have gone up, values have gone up. You got to make sure that you're keeping up with the times for construction costs and all those things. So make sure you get all that done. At Italiano Insurance, it's real easy, 813-877-7799. A human being, yes, a real human being will answer the phone and get you to another human being that will actually answer your questions. Can you imagine that type of customer service in this day and age? Yeah, they actually do that at Italiano Insurance, and I love it. I love it. Call Charity. She's so fun to chat with, and she will get right back to you. Or if you email her, she gets right back to you. So it's really good stuff. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. Well, I think Jane is ready. Shake your head if you're ready, Jane. You're ready. Okay.
I'm ready.
Let's throw her in. You are ready. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can
Good
hear
morning.
you. Yes. Good morning.
It's a beautiful day out by the pool, huh?
You know what? I decided to go outside because it's beautiful.
It
Unfortunately,
is.
I might have to move because I do hear some planes coming over. But
No, you're fine. We
if
hear
that
you
doesn't
fine.
bother you, it doesn't bother
No.
me. How's that?
No, I normally have dogs barking in the background, so you're
Yeah.
good.
And there you
I
go.
like the
Make
F,
it
I
real,
like the F,
right?
I
Make it
like the F.
real.
Yeah, exactly. I like the FSU gear too. That's a
I know, right?
sweet
I
little
had to
jacket you got
represent.
on there.
I have
Yeah.
to represent, and I also I have to double down on Italiano Insurance and Charity and Jeff Italiano. I mean, I'm in that business as far as, on the flip side of it. And the person I call all the time is Charity at Italiano Insurance. So I want to add that
Look
as a
at
little
that. Look
Jeff
at that.
Italiano plug. And
Very,
Florida State.
yeah,
Come on.
of course. That's right. We're
Right.
all in
Anyway.
the family here, man.
Right.
We
Right.
keep it all in the family, and real
Exactly.
estate as well is what you're doing now. And before we get to some of the golf and the other stuff, good time to get back in the market now, right? Because rates are coming down, and once they hit the fours, the frenzy's going to be back on, right? I mean, prices are going to go crazy.
Yes.
So now's a good
Yeah.
time to get in, right?
Yeah, yes, exactly. We're so fortunate. We live in an area that's really desirable, right? The whole Tampa Bay area continues to be very desirable, whether it's from, people in the area, still people moving in from other places. We know we live here and we know how great it is. But yeah, the market is definitely picking up again. We've seen, I think the economy is leveled out and we're looking at, potential rate cuts later in the year. So it's like you said, we're sitting on that market where once the rates do go down, it's going to start getting competitive again. And, and we're going to start battling that, multiple offers and things like that. So, yes, if anyone that's listening is interested in selling or buying, all obviously no cost. And, just if anyone has any questions about what's going on or anything, I'm here to help.
All right, go to the GetItScoredInGroup.com and contact Jane and her group. Oh, we lost her. Try to get her back. Wi-Fi issues. Issues, Jane. Don't worry. We got you back. We got you back.
Good. All right.
All right, so a couple things I wanted to get to. And the PGA Tour, I don't know if I'm sure you did see this yesterday. They just got a $3 billion hit of cash investment from an American group of investors.
Yep.
Now it's not quite the Saudi money, but that's good money. And I heard a lot of the guys talking yesterday. Rory McIlroy, it's like we want guys. We all want to be on the same tour. We want it like it used to be.
Yeah.
No matter how it's. And I'm for that. I think we all are. We want to see the best players playing in most of the events, right?
Yep.
So, but it just seems like business is preventing that. The PGA Tour wanted to punish all these guys if they come back. That seems silly now, right? That seems silly. What are your thoughts on this? How does this all work out? How can it work out?
Gosh, I'm with you. I think, and as from a player's perspective, I know that everyone wants to play. You want to play against the best players in the world. PGA Tour is the tour in the world, right? It's where everybody wants to be. And I think everything that happened with Liv and how the PGA Tour reacted to, I think there was a lot of knee jerk there, and it put everybody in a situation where they didn't know what to do. And I think right now, it got to the, clearly when they made the agreement with the Saudi group that they were going to go into business with them, it's like, retract. And now, Rory's kind of coming back to it. I don't know how it all works out. I thought that the investment in the PGA Tour was a good thing. It's a good thing for golf. And, from an LPGA perspective and a little bit selfishly, I hope that there's some trickle down effect for the women because they certainly deserve it. Right. Yeah. But I think, like everything, it starts with the PGA Tour. I think the Fenway Group has been, associated with the tour and been involved in golf for a long time. I think I think it's a legit investment that will really have some legs. If it was just an outside group of, a lot of guys putting together money and saying, oh, I want to be friends with Rory and I want to, that's a different story. You know how that goes, right? Why, everybody's rationale around that. But I think that, when I saw who it was, I was like, this is real. This is great. And so, how it all works out from the perspective of, as it relates to Liv and stuff, I don't know. I think everything's softening. I think everything's coming back to reality. JP, I think everybody's going, how do we figure this out? Let's work together on this and let's make sure maybe not every tournament that we have the best players, but certainly the majors and the Ryder Cup. And let's make sure we get this on right track. Why are we punishing people?
Right.
I mean, the career of these guys, it's not forever. You have a window here of guys that are great players. And this is a little teeny bit of an aside, but this is something that happens in women's golf. For years, the USGA drug their feet on putting together a senior women's open. Okay, we have it now. We've had it for 6 or 7
Yes.
years now, for however long now. Because they drug their feet on it, they missed an entire era of players, the Nancy Lopez era of players playing in that event, which was really unfortunate, right?
Yep.
And I think now when you look at what's happening with this whole situation, we don't want to miss Rory's era. We don't want to miss these guys. These are great players, right? And so we want to see them in their heyday competing against the best players. And so I I'm not, listen, this is obvious stuff, but I think that's what they're sitting around, from a very general point of view saying, let's fix this.
Well, Jane, you've been involved at the highest level at the LPGA and that business, WWE and that business, entertainment. These PGA players, all the players that are involved in this. And it seems like from a business side and a player side, and it seems like it's just a big pissing contest. Who's going to control it? Who's going to control it? Is it going to be the PGA Tour? Is it going to be Greg Norman? And, who's got the most money? Who's got the biggest wallet? Who's got, as we say, it's just, the egos need to go away. They need to go away. And someone needs to get some leadership here and there's plenty of money. You got Saudi money. Now you've got this money. Now, there's plenty of money for the players. Now let's figure how to divvy up the money, maybe take a little bit of greed out of it. Everybody's going to make money, and let's get it together where we have a system where most of the good players, not going to play every week, but something that resembles what the PGA Tour was, to be quite frank. I don't know about you, Jane. I've tried to watch the live golf thing. I got no stomach for it. I don't. Maybe I'm old school.
No, I'm with you.
Shorts, the rock bands. Every few weeks at the Phoenix Open, great, fantastic. I love it. Yeah. But every week, no,
I'm with you.
It's not what I want. It's not what I want.
I agree, JP. I agree. It's not. It's fine for it's sort of like the Top Golf effect, right? Of like it brings people into the game, right?
Right.
It bring people say that, okay, I'm a golfer if I go to Top Golf, or I love golf because I watch the Live Tour now. Oh, great. If it's going to bring more people to the game, then I'm all for it from that perspective. But don't tell me that that's the real thing, because to me, shotgun start with no cut, I have a hard time with that.
Yeah.
Period. End of the story. That's just not how golf, from a very high level, was meant to be played. Okay, but from a level of entertainment, I clearly there's people that enjoy it. And it's entertaining. And can the golf world have both? I think so.
Do you think
why not? Why not just figure it out, like you said?
Can the two tours coexist?
I don't know. I think from a player perspective, I would say that the players are probably sitting around on both sides saying, how can we make this work? Because when you have a guy, to me, when I think of guys that are really benefiting from the live situation, I think of a guy like Sergio, right?
Yeah.
Like Sergio, and let's forget about the bajillions of dollars that they're making from a perspective of making, okay, forget it wasn't so much money. Let's imagine it was like a decent amount of money. Right. You got to get Sergio, who's, he's at the end of his career. He's winding down. He's got a family. He's able to spend time at home with his family. He's able to go out and compete when he needs to or wants to. It's not a full schedule. Bonus situation. It's like a mini Champions Tour, right?
Right. Yeah.
Because that's so if maybe there's a spot there for that. I don't know. I think a guy like Bryson, his career's only so long. What a waste.
Yeah.
What a waste. But if it's about making money for him, which he certainly comes off as the kind of guy where it never was. It was more about
the game,
everything that he was the game. So that's an odd one, right? So how so that's to me like the 180 degrees from Sergio. So I don't know. I think if you put all the players in a room and you sat them down, and you said, how can we work this out? I think they'd work it out. I do.
Yeah, maybe Live Golf gets 10 events a year because that's about all I can stomach of that stuff. And then PGA Tour gets 30 a year.
Right.
And then you have your majors. That pretty much covers it. I don't have a problem with that. I just, the division, I turned on Torrey Pines this week. There's nobody playing. I mean, there's 4 or 5 guys I knew.
I know.
That's Torrey Pines. That's the Farmers.
I know. At
what
Torrey
are we
Pines,
doing?
right?
Like, what are we
I
doing?
know.
There's 6 guys I know.
But part of that,
who,
JP, is the schedule. You can't have these guys right now. And again, it comes down to the money, right?
right.
These guys are not going to play a schedule. They're not going to play 32 tournaments.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the average is now.
Yeah.
I don't even know what they're playing, but they're going to pick and choose where they play. And it's, some of it's going to be the purse, some of it's going to be the course, some of it's going to be where it lies in the schedule. Is it leading up to a major? Do I want to play in a tournament before a major? I mean, everybody has their rationale, right?
Right.
But maybe it is about kind of, like you said, slimming down the PGA Tour schedule, adding in some the live events, allowing those weeks to be open. So then guess what? Everybody benefits, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So, and especially when you have this infusion of cash like it is, the tour does not need to have 30. I don't even know how many tournaments are on schedule right now, but they don't need to have multiple every single week so that revenue is coming into the tour as well. I don't know. I think it's a puzzle, but I think it's a puzzle that can be put together.
Jane Geddes joining us here, 1987 U.S. Open champion, real estate agent to the stars as well, and you, if you want to get involved in some real estate. You got to talk some LPGA. And last week, my favorite player is back, besides you, of course. Nelly Korda, coming off the blood clot last year, was the best player in the game before that happened. She comes back, wins on her home course in a playoff with an eagle birdie finish, I think it was, against Lydia Ko. I mean, talk about drama and just having her back on tour. She's a superstar. Yeah. She's is so a superstar. Talk to me a little bit about Nelly.
I mean, to me, that golf swing is just it is just a thing of beauty. Every time I see her swing, or every time I see it on social media or on TV, I take another look.
Yeah,
because it is literally just so good. And when you have that talent, like she has, and clearly she has the mindset and the mental part, she's in the groove on that. And I think, God, the sky's the limit. Really. I mean, when you look at a player like that, like how good does she want to be? I feel that way. And she's got some really good, what always drives that too is she's got some really good, Lydia Ko right now is playing well again. So she has players that, that push you. You have to have those players that are also pushing you, and the tour has that. The tour has, a lot of great players right now, and the level of play is just phenomenal. And so it's so great to watch, and it's so I'm proud of I'm proud of them. I'm proud of the tour, and like I said, I hope that everything that's happening in golf and sort of all the the money that's being put towards it, I hope that some of that trickles down to the LPGA, because I certainly there's a lot of deserving people along the way there.
But I'll tell you, Jane, I found myself searching out the event last week. Like I was watching the Farmers. I'm like, you know what? I don't know any of these people. I want to watch what's going on down in Bradenton.
I love it.
Nelly, I wanted to get down there, couldn't do it, and so Nelly and I would literally right now rather watch LPGA golf and then some of the PGA Tour tournaments. I know more of the players. The swings are fantastic. Watching Nelly play is just amazing.
Yeah.
And I grouped this in with Caitlin Clark as well. Watching her play basketball, when I see that she's playing, I'm going to watch her. She's amazing to watch. Right. And I think there is a renaissance in women's sports right now, Jane, that is incomparable to the time that I've been alive, certainly. Yep. That there are some stars that are here now that I want to watch. So I think it's a great time. Talk a little bit about that.
Yep. I 100% agree. I think there is no time. It is unreal right now. I mean, I was fortunate. We went, kind of started off for me kind of getting this sort of like awakening, and maybe I was late to the story here, but I was fortunate to go to the Women's World Cup this past year in New Zealand and Australia. And the vibe and everything that was happening around that, it was unreal.
Yeah.
It was just what an amazing experience. And then, and then start now really following that and got to go to the Final Four volleyball here in Tampa.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
What an atmosphere. What an atmosphere.
I mean, Amalie Arena filled with people screaming, and cheering and crazy over women's volleyball and unbelievable play. And then
and
Caitlin
TV
Clark
ratings off the charts.
Unreal.
Yeah.
And now when you watch, the highlights of games, whether it's Caitlin Clark or whether, LSU or South Carolina, or they filling out. They're filling these arenas.
Yep.
They're filling these arenas with, for women's games. It is unbelievable to me right now. There is no, and being in a sport like golf and tennis was always, they have the majors with not initially always initially drove this, but you have the majors with the men, and and even though the Williams sisters, they always had so many stars. They've always packed stadiums, right? But when you start talking about college sports, women's college sports, that's when something's going on.
Yep.
Right? I mean,
and 90,000 people in Nebraska State football stadium to watch a volleyball match.
Yes. Unbelievable. Yeah.
Well,
so.
And here comes.
Did I lose you? Am I
here? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can't see you.
Okay. Yeah.
That's all right. Long as you can hear me. Okay.
Yeah, I'll. It'll pop back up here in just a second. So as we talk about the the incredible women's sports and what's going on, here come some men trying to ruin it with this, Leah Thomas in swimming, and now we have a transgender golfer who wants to be on the LPGA tour. Your thoughts on
this is a really controversial subject, and I'm not like a real political person, but I'll give you my actual personal experience.
Okay.
So I knew Bruce Jenner when he was Bruce Jenner, and I subsequently after met up with him again at actually a mutual friend's funeral.
Jane, unfortunately, we've lost your audio right at the running part. Can you hear me? I've lost your audio. Dadgummit. Can you hear me? You can't hear me. Try to get you back in here. Can you guys hear her? Because I cannot. If you want to comment. Dadgummit. This is... Well, all right, Jane. Sorry, I cannot hear you. Something went wrong right at the time you were starting to go into this that I wanted to hear so badly. Let me try it one more time. Are you there? Nope. Okay. All right. We'll stop it down. We'll take a break. We'll come back on the other side, and we'll get Jane back next week. We'll get more. No, we got something to tease. Definitely got something to tease. No question about it. All right, quick break. We'll come back on the other side, and we'll. There's been a hiring in the NFL. Washington finally has their head coach. We'll hit the NFL when we come back. Stay with us.
JP here for the Geddes Gordon Real Estate Group and our good friend Jane Geddes. Folks, simply put, there is nobody like Jane. Jane is a former LPGA two-time major championship winner. She was also vice president of talent relations at WWE. She also has a law degree from Stetson. So if Jane can drain a 10-footer to win the U.S. Open and stare down Hulk Hogan in the boardroom, you want Jane on your real estate team to not only negotiate the best deal, but find you the perfect home or investment property. And when you work with the Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of the real estate family and get concierge services that include expertly staging, marketing, and preparing your home for sale.
advice on golf properties. Hey, you might even get some golf tips. Many of their clients become friends long after the sale or purchase is completed. It's all part of the deal. So if you're looking for that perfect home or investment property or trying to get top dollar for your home, go with Jane Geddes and the Geddes Gordon Group, because there's nobody like Jane. Call 813-485-6808 or go to geddesgordon.kw.com. That's GEDDES Gordon.kw.com or call 813-485-6808.
All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com.
Is getting a home equity line a good idea right now with rates so high? Well, I put that question to my good friend Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services, and he says it all depends on where you're at financially. Many of us with ridiculous inflation have been charging up those credit cards, right? At 29% interest, hoping to catch up, but that ain't happening. Those interest payments are killing you. So yes, a consolidation loan and tapping into that crazy equity in your house is a great idea. That strategy can drop your monthly nut by thousands of dollars and stop wasting money on those interest payments. Fitz, the mortgage guy, has done thousands of loans for the past 25 years in Tampa Bay. Just did one for a former colleague who was a manager for a big bank mortgage division. He knows Scott is an independent broker and can get him a way better deal than at his own big bank. AMS Tampa has way lower overhead and gives you the savings. So if you're worried about fees and closing costs, have the free consultation with Scott and look at the actual numbers. It may shock you what he can do. Be smart. Stay one step ahead. Email Fitz at scott@amstampa.com, scott@amstampa, or call 813-294-7595. Scott Fitzgerald, MLS 386-722. American Mortgage Services, 1000 North Ashley Drive, Suite 1020, Tampa First.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. And just as Jane was getting into that great take, we lost her there, but just chatted with her. She's going to join us next week, and we'll get her thoughts on Haley Davidson, the transgender golfer. She spoke. I guess Jane spoke with some folks at the LPGA to get their take on it. So we'll look forward to that next week when she joins us to talk golf. And the PGA situation is very, very interesting. And I know you golf fans out there, you just want to see the best, right? You want to see the best playing all the time, or as many times as you possibly can, and that's just not happening. So I hope that they can come to an agreement, but unfortunately I think the greed and the money is so big now that it might take some time. But the fact that the PGA just got this infusion of capital, maybe that gives them the money to pay bonuses to these players who have signed with Live Golf. And I don't know what those contractual obligations are, if they can get out of them and still get their money, or what that deal is. But I think, as Jay mentioned, the knee-jerk reaction by the PGA Tour was an issue, or it seems to be an issue now. And I get it. I mean, it was an existential threat to your business model. At that point, what do you do when somebody invades your country? What do you just leave the border open? Maybe a bad analogy. When somebody is trying to take over your business, you got to put up the wall, man. You got to go. You've got to fight back when somebody's trying to destroy your business. You got to come out guns a-blazing, right? I get it. But maybe that wasn't the best strategy. And what Liv forced on the PGA Tour maybe was not the best strategy. They never really tried to work together. Maybe they did behind the scenes. It just didn't work. Whatever it was, it turned into this, pissing match. And now, if you're the PGA Tour, you got to say, okay, look, all right, we're not going to punish you guys. We're not going to punish you guys. Now, of course, the guys like Rory and everybody else, well, we didn't take the money because we thought we'd never get back on tour. So you got a lot to work through. But at some point, there's got to be some leadership. And here's the other part. Like, Rory, how much more money do you need? Jordan Spieth, how much more money do you need? We're talking about a handful of guys here, 20 guys that maybe stayed on the PGA Tour and didn't take the big money. All right, so maybe you guys get some extra compensation. You ain't going broke. All right, you're good. Maybe give them a lifetime exemption on the PGA Tour, so they don't have to qualify or whatever, or requalify or stay in the top, whatever. I don't know, but give them some different concessions and try to get everybody back on the same team and as close to the PGA Tour as we've seen, because I think they've kind of perfected the tournament element, at least in my estimation. I don't want all the music and the shorts and the crazy stuff going on all the time. On a few events, fine, but I like the professionalism of the PGA Tour. I like the fact that the leaders play against each other coming down the stretch and on the same holes, instead of this shotgun, start thing where the leader's on 14 and 16 and 2. It's a whole different deal. 3 rounds, no cut. Don't like it. I think the PGA Tour has perfected the actual competition part of the events. Could they be better in entertainment? Could they be better in paying their players? Yes, all those things can be better. You can change those things, but let's keep the competition model as close to what they've perfected as we can. I think at least that's what I would like to see. What do you guys think? All right, NFL news. Washington just hired Dan Quinn. Good for them. I got to know Dan Quinn a little bit in Atlanta. I like the guy. I think he's got a great vibe about him. He's super personable. He's very motivational. Good energy. A lot of you don't like the backwards hat, whatever. I think he's going to bring a lot of energy and positivity to Washington, which is something they desperately need. Is he a good football coach? The defense at Dallas was really good at times. They had hiccups, no question about it. Playoffs weren't great. Green Bay came in there and torched them. I get it. But on whole, you look at his career in Dallas, the fact that he got the Falcons to the Super Bowl. Yeah, they didn't win it. They collapsed. I get it. But that was Dan Quinn. So I think he's got some chops. Doesn't have the resume of a Bill Belichick. I get it, but I wouldn't be hiring Bill Belichick right now. So Washington gets their man, and now he's going to start filling out his staff to see what he's going to do. This is the story from John Keim. Adam Schefter reporting that Dan Quinn is the new man in Washington. Quinn replaces Ron Rivera, who was fired by new owner Josh Harris one day after the season ended. Commanders hired Adam Peters as general manager on January 12th. Moves represent the first monumental hires on the football side for Harris, who finalized the purchase of the team in July. Of course, Dan Snyder, the longtime owner of the Redskins. Yeah, I said it. The Washington football team obviously forced out, and now they have new ownership and they have a new coach in Washington. Quinn served as the Cowboys defense coordinator the past 3 seasons. Cowboys ranked a combined 5th in points and 7th in yards allowed under Quinn. The Cowboys led the NFL with 93 forced turnovers. Previously served as the Atlanta Falcons head coach from 2015 to 2020, taking the Falcons to the Super Bowl. In the 2016 season, they lost to New England Patriots, of course, in overtime after leading 28-3. So, you can do worse. I know there's a lot of Dan Quinn haters out there. My co-host on Tuesdays and Thursdays being one of them in Dallas, Timmy Ham. So we'll get his thoughts next time he jumps on with us. We've heard his thoughts on Dan Quinn. He's not a big Dan Quinn fan, but the numbers are good. His defense has played really, really well. The Commanders own the number 2 pick in the draft, where they can draft their quarterback of the future, or do they already have him in Sam Howell? They will make 5 picks in the top 100. They also have approximately $70 million in available cap space, with the ability to create at least $15 million more by releasing various players. Wow. So $85 million in cap space. You got the number 2 overall pick, which you could trade to a quarterback hungry team who wants Drake May or Jaden Daniels. probably pick up 3 number 1 picks for that pick and start filling a lot more holes. So you get the right people in place and they make the right decisions. You can turn around a franchise in a hurry in the NFL. So we'll see what happens. But they've got, again, 5 picks in the top 100, which they could turn into maybe 7 picks, 3 first-rounders, 2 first-rounders this year. Maybe you pick up an extra one next year if you trade that number 2 overall pick, which is what I would be doing. Sam Howell, kid's talented, man. Kid is talented, throws too many picks at this point, but which good young quarterback doesn't? Go look at the numbers. I think Peyton Manning threw 28 picks in his first year, some crazy number. So I'm not saying Sam Howell's Peyton Manning, but would you go with the quarterback on a rookie contract who's got talent like Sam Howell, or trade that pick? I would trade if I could get 3 number 1s, and they need a talent makeover in Washington, and they've got $85 million in cap space. I stick with the quarterback and try to build around him. And take that, unless you think one of those other guys is transcendent. And I love what Jaden Daniels does, how it's going to translate to the NFL. If he's going to be durable enough, we shall see. Caleb Williams, you know me, I don't think he's a great leader. I don't, he's got great talent, no question about it, but I don't think he's a great leader. I think he's mentally soft. We'll see. We'll see how he plays in those situations, because he's not going to a good team. That's not going to be a great situation for him wherever he goes. So we shall see. He goes Chicago. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. All right, let me get to some of your other comments here. KW4 says Graham Barton, center guard from Duke, 6'5", 314. Can play center or guard, may be available after first round, really quick and strong. I will look at him. Those are the guys I love, man. Go find me a Ryan Jensen. Go find me a Tristan Wirfs. The Bucs offensive line right now, you got 2. Wirfs is, to me, the best offensive lineman in the game, bar none. And Luke Gedeke has looked like a really, really good right tackle that you can keep. So you've got your 2 tackles for another decade, hopefully. Cody Malk, I thought, really came on in the second half of the season. He needs to get bigger, stronger, but he's got talent. There's no question he's got talent. You get the left guard and center positions. You got some money in free agency, too, where you can address those and get some guys that can play in this league. Lonnie Wilkins says, I can't wait to see some no-name 22-year-old lefty bullpen arm strike out Juan Soto in a tight game of the Trop in a big game, because that's just who we are. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? I'm interested in this Japanese pitcher. I think he's going to be. You put him in this race lab and see what they come out with. Like Doug Waechter said at the beginning of the show, guy's got like 18 pitches, many we can't pronounce. Kyle Snyder's like, all right, let's hone that down. But he's right. I mean, when you get into with the analytics that the Rays can provide you, and you start saying, okay, take that, Frisbee thing you throw and put it on the inside corner against this particular guy and just pound it there, low and inside. He can't touch it. He'll swing over it every single time. And you got a guy that can command pitches like that. You're going to have good success. Ricky Pearsall from Florida could be a steal. Man, I've always loved that cat. He has given FSU so many problems, and let's be honest, you get great value with white receivers. They fall in the draft. So go get you one in the 4th round. Yeah, get great value. He'll be there. He'll be there. So, he can play. He can play. He's got speed. He catches. He tracks the ball. Tracks the deep ball really, really well. Great route runner. He's got it all, except size. Not a really big guy, but he's a Wes Welker comp to me. A Julian Edelman comp, no doubt about it. Guy's super productive, and you can get him in the later rounds. Yep. Wonder who's going to draft Braden Rice. I was watching tape of him yesterday, Christopher Cole, and who he looks like? His daddy. He looks like Jerry Rice, by the way. He looks slow compared to the other guys, doesn't he? Like I saw him coming off the line. I just saw a little bit of highlights, in one-on-ones. But he creates some separation. Doesn't look super explosive, but he creates separation, tracks it well, and makes a catch. Makes great combat catches. So he's an interesting prospect out of USC. Jerry Rice's kid. A lot of good Senior Bowl stuff. I'm trying to get one of the Pewter Report guys on tomorrow. Maybe Matt Matera will get him on. Scott's going to come on next Tuesday and give his full report, but maybe we'll get somebody on tomorrow. Greg DeCruz says winning games obviously important, but putting an entertaining product on the field is how you attract fans. He says Glazers crave relevancy, so hopefully Bowles understands that today's NFL is about offense. Yeah, I mean, again, folks, I'm not sold on Todd Bowles as a Super Bowl coach, but I think he's a good guy, a good coach for the moment. Get some continuity going, continue to build the roster. With this coaching cycle, I mean, would you rather have Dan Quinn? Would you rather have, the Cincinnati offensive coordinator? Some of these guys don't even know. Would you rather have hired Raheem Morris? Would you rather have hired Bill Belichick? No, thank you. Mike Vrabel? Yeah. I'm surprised that he doesn't have a job, which is kind of weird. Maybe he was making unwieldy demands, but interesting that he did not get hired in this hiring cycle. Jeremy Lowe says, I also have Liam Cohen as my top candidate for the OC job. Give me Sean McVay's system. We have Sean McVay's system. That's what Canales brought. So I don't know squat about Liam Cohen, except he's been three. He was at Kentucky at 21, went to the Rams, then went back to Kentucky. So what's going on there? I don't know. So I don't know anything about the guy. But if you're doing it just because it's a Sean McVay system, that's kind of what Canales brought here, right? It's a kind of a hybrid of that. So yeah, I wouldn't do it just because of that. All right, we're going to take one more break, and then when we come back, we'll finish up. I got to talk a little bit about USF, a big win last night. What's going on with them and their basketball squad, as predicted on the show by David Zimmerhoff last night. Big win over East Carolina. Quick break, come back, finish things up. Stay with us.
JP here for my good friends at Italiano Insurance, and they did it again. Once again, Italiano Insurance stepping up with the best customer service. I was in a bind. My old insurance company, my auto insurance, jacked up my rates, so I called Charity at Italiano Insurance, and she stayed till 9:30 at night until she got my insurance done. And guess what? She searched all these companies for me. I didn't do the work. She did. Saved me $1,000 on my annual premium. $1,000, folks. That's real money. And that's what you get at Italiano Insurance. Great customer service. And here's another note for you, by the way, with hurricane season up. 40% of people in Florida are underinsured. That means if you have something happen during a hurricane and you need replacement costs, you're going to get 40% less than you deserve. Can't let that happen. Call the folks at Italiano Insurance and get them to help you out in both those regards. They will save you money and keep you insured properly. That's 813-877-7799. Great folks in the community, been doing it for over 60 years. Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799.
Start the new year with a new diamond from the Gold and Diamond Source. It's still engagement season. Where better to get that special ring than the Gold and Diamond Source? Of course, I just got mine there. I'm engaged. You should do the same thing. Let's go. Gold and Diamond Source has the largest selection of engagement rings in the country. A literal jewelry superstore with 30 times the inventory of any normal jeweler. And if you have a loved one or a special person in your life who has a birthday this month, maybe you have an anniversary coming up, you can get 15% off the January birthstone, which is garnet, as in garnet and gold for all your Seminoles. Celebrate that mythical national championship. And it's the Gold and Diamond Source's 40th anniversary. For the past 40 years, they have taken pride in offering only natural diamonds formed over billions of years from the Earth's incredible forces. And gold prices are at an all-time high. Now's your chance to turn your jewelry box into a cash machine. It's the perfect time to trade in your broken or unworn pieces for something new and stunning. It's the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Omerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com.
JP here for the Jeeves Law Group, Jeeves. Call for a free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. We're local, we're trusted. The law firm brings over 80 years of combined legal experience focusing on clients in Tampa Bay, the state of Florida, and national class action cases. If you're injured, get that free case evaluation, no cost to you. The Jeeves Law Group's focus is on auto, truck, and motorcycle accidents, as well as class action and consumer protection law. Scott Jeeves is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. You hear him on the show all the time. Great guy, big Gator fan, and great for the community. The Jeeves Law Group is a highly skilled team with years of experience that will apply their skills, expertise, and knowledge to assist individuals who have been in an accident with compensation for damages, lost wages, medical expenses, pain and suffering, and property damage. Get that free case evaluation, 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at the Gold and Diamond Source. Do not forget, the gift match is on for Thursday and Friday, today and tomorrow at the Gold and Diamond Source. Valentine's double gift card match. Buy up to $1,000 in gift cards, and they will match it, giving you up to $2,000 in immediate spending power. It doesn't have to be $1,000, folks. Buy 100, get 100. 200, get 400. Do the math. Yeah, so you double it, and you give her something. She thinks you spent $500. You only spent $250. It's at the Gold and Diamond Source. So get on over there and get this double gift card match going on. It's always engagement season as you get up to Valentine's Day. That's a great day to do it. They have the best selection. Great staff there. You just go in there, tell them what your budget is. They'll find something super nice for you, give you a great box like this that lights up when you give it to her. Fantastic stuff. So the double gift card match is on Thursday and Friday. Buy up to $1,000 gift cards. They'll match it up to $2,000. It's the Valentine's Day gift card match going on at the Golden Diamond Source, 3800 Olmsted Road, always online at the Golden Diamond Source.com. All right. Any other questions you guys got bring to the table? So check this out. So now that Dan Quinn has been hired, the guys that don't have jobs, Bill Belichick, which we thought he would. Sorry, excuse me. Pete Carroll. Does Pete Carroll still want to coach? 73 years old. I think he probably should. Mike Vrabel. That to me is the most shocking. Like what happened with Mike Vrabel? I mean, he was the darling, and then the last couple of years, he was in a power struggle with the Titans and the new GM. This weird deal, and then nobody hires him. That's bizarre. Something going on there. Maybe he's coming at these interviews going, "Hey, I want all the control. Give me everything. I'm baking the cake. I want to do the ingredients. I'm Bill Belichick. I'm doing it." Owners don't like that. The owners don't like that. And shouldn't have to me, it's too much power in the NFL anymore. I understand Belichick did a great job with it, but things are too complicated now. You have to separate personnel from coaching, in my opinion. In this day and age, I don't think it works because, the coach can play favorites with players, see Devin White, or, they can create issues in how they're coaching, trying to hold a player accountable, and you're also the GM. Maybe that player doesn't want to play for you anymore. So it just gets weird. I think it's better separated. And then if that's what Vrabel wanted, then he's not going to get it. Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson, of course, the Detroit Lions OC, and Bobby Slowick. Like all these guys, we thought, there were 8 openings. One's going to Vrabel. One's from Belichick, probably. One's going to Ben Johnson. One's going to Bobby Slowick. I mean, that was written in stone, right? We thought. Not so fast, my friends. Not so fast. And I think what you're seeing here is a lot of guys that are being, Ben Johnson knows he's going to get another opportunity. So why jump at something maybe he doesn't like? Same with, maybe Aaron Glenn, maybe Vrabel just didn't like any of his options. Did he not want to go to Washington? Probably not. Probably not. Wait till something else opens up. I will say this. If a lot of these guys that didn't get hired, if there's openings next year, we'll see. Could it be the Bucs? Could they work for another year? add to their foundation of players, have another really good draft, add some explosive players, some good players on defense, win the division or come close again, and then maybe say, we need a little spark to get us over the top offensively and go hire a Ben Johnson or a Bobby Slowick or a Mike Vrabel. And that person comes in and gives you a pop and maybe you win another Super Bowl, very much like the Dungy Gruden template, right? So if you're a Bucs fan, you're seeing these guys that are going to be sitting out a year. That means they'll still be on the market next year. No offense to Todd Bowles. Not trying to kick the guy out. Not trying to do any of that stuff. But it is what it is. Jeremy Lowe says, do we already see yeah, he wants the McVay system. I get it. Everybody wants the McVay system. It works, but I think we got a hybrid of it right now. All right, so Cam Newton comes out and says Brock Purdy sucks. Brock Purdy is not the reason the 49ers are winning. Brock Purdy is just a guy. He's the 10th best player on the 49ers. Cam, come on, man. Come on, man. Yeah, he's not the athlete you were, but he's a much better quarterback than you were. He sees the field way better than you did. Can't run like you, right? Maybe he'll win the Super Bowl. He'd probably jump on that fumble in the Super Bowl that you didn't jump on. Just saying. I think Brock Purdy's a great player. I think I've seen enough, especially in the last couple of weeks in the comeback situation, that guy can play. And he athletically, that play against Anzalone, 3rd and 6, he moves up in the pocket, gets quick pressure from Hutchinson, moves up in the pocket, protects the ball. He's one-on-one in the middle of the field with Anzalone, and he just beats him bad. I don't even think Anzalone got a hand on him. Runs right around him for 21 yards. It's a huge play. He had probably 5 or 6 plays in that game with his legs, Cam Newton, that he out-athleted, is that a word? Other guys, and made a miss and made plays. That one play to who did he throw that to? One of the wide receivers where he stopped, threw back across the body, kind of putted it up in the air. Like, it's not the most advisable play, but that was a hell of an athletic play, and he made it happen. Got a big first down. So I love Brock Purdy, and I can't wait to see him in the Super Bowl, and you know who I'm rooting for. And it ain't Mahomes and Kelsey and Taylor. That's for damn sure. USF wins last night. East Carolina beat them 71-60, as predicted by our coach Z, David Zimroth, who's going to join us every Wednesday now, talk basketball. Big win for them. Their 6th straight win, conference win, which ties a program record. 7-1 start in the AAC, their best start ever, conference start ever. They're now tied for 1st in the AAC. Kasim Pryor last night had 14 and 11. Chris Youngblood had 20 points to lead them. They're now 14-5. They are the South Florida Bulls. So an attaboy to them. That was a big win on the road at East Carolina. And as Z said yesterday, East Carolina, they're 11-11 on the season. But going to that place, it's hard to get to. It's like going to Hattiesburg, Mississippi. It's hard to get to. It's a big home court advantage for the Pirates. They have crazy students there, a lot of knuckleheads. So it's a good win. A really good win for them. So they're at North Texas this weekend. I believe that is a Sunday game. Then they got Charlotte at home on the 6th of February. Then they're at Rice, back on the road on the 10th. They got Tulsa back at home on the 14th. And then the big one at home on the 18th, FAU, 20th ranked FAU, Final Four participant, will be here at the Yuengling Center. Let's pack the house. And college basketball is back in Tampa Bay. I, for one, absolutely love it. All right. Thank you, dudes, for watching and listening and commenting today. We appreciate it. I didn't screw up too bad on the producing. So thank you guys so much for joining us. I always screw up the end of the show, though, because I'm not sure how the music works. So we'll try to do a nice close here for you guys, and we will see you tomorrow. Nick Geddes will be joining me, and we will have some fun then. So have a great day, everybody.